Right, I thought a fun team to start with because let's face it, everyone knows like the storyline. Everyone claims, so they're like, "Oh, the LEC's so boring. It's just G2 Fnatic, G2 Fnatic." It's like, listen, I know to be fair, Fnatic do like to sort of play dead during the split and then get good, but like they have changed the lineup, and also I know people are going to think, where's he going to go on this one? Because technically, Nemesis and Rekkles aren't on the team anymore, so they're like trying to do the maths like fucking that show like numbers back in the like. Does he actually hate them now, or does he like? Because you know he likes soft made, but all I'll say is like, first of all. Never been a huge Niski fan. I think everyone knows that, but he's okay. So I don't know, because when I saw this roster, I was like, this isn't bad actually. Like this could still be a good team. But I have to say, I had them sort of pegged as like third or fourth. Like I didn't think they would be second best. Like I know it's easy to say now because everyone will claim it, but I'm a big fan of Odo Amne. I thought like Rogue would be a banger. That already was a pretty sick team, right? What have you actually thought of Fnatic so far, Araya? Because like, even though I said like in the past, they've had splits certainly where they started dodgy. Obviously, the last split they were in, they almost didn't make Worlds, but this one feels alarming to me. Where's your confidence level at on what Fnatic's doing? And is there something about the style of play doesn't work? What do you think?
I think that they build their roster pretty well, actually, because they all kind of seem to be on the same page, or at least have pretty similar ideas of how to play the game. And they are not completely there yet. You can see sometimes that the crazy plays that either Bwipo or Ilisang are about to go with are not totally synchronized with the rest of the team. But since week one, they have kept going with a style, and it backfires oftenly, and that costs games at times. But also it's something that they are building on, and they are not turning their back at this because it backfires, and they keep believing in it. So I think they will only progress in that direction, and it's something that works well for Chinese team, for example, the over-aggression and over-going in, and it will give them an edge if they can really refine it, I think.
Yeah. What do you think their ceiling lays? Because I feel like with Niski especially now, and obviously the difference between Upset and Rekkles, like, I mean, I don't want to harp on it, but I think it's huge. Like, what do you think their ceiling is? Because I don't see them like recovering the same way that they used to and just like turn it on, suddenly get a good game plan. Because I don't think that the coaching staff is actually established to do that. I don't think Yamato is someone that has historically been really good at establishing like a controlled style where you at some point are going to win best of 5 because you're just a better team and you can answer everything the enemies are doing. And I don't think that Niski is the kind of player, and I don't think Upset is the kind of player, like especially Upset, I think is not the kind of player that is going to be able to be stable in the best of 5. So what do you think is going to be their ceiling?
I'm not sure actually. I think it could maybe even be a kind of team that relies on certain meta as well, because maybe in summer, seeing how patch goes, maybe in summer even it becomes tank jungle meta, and how about self-made, how does it go for him? And yeah, also as you said, Niski and Upset are really good as is in the league, but yeah, I'm kind of for wait and see kind of mode because I'm not sure yet, to be honest.
Okay.
What did you mean? I mean, you just said the best of 5 angle amazing, but do you have any more insight? What's the big difference between Upset and Rekkles to you? Like, what's the key difference here?
I mean, first of all, I guess mental stability in terms of like a best of 5 scenario where I think Upset, at least when I played with him, it was mainly the Fnatic series, I guess, that I remember, where he suddenly wanted to go back to comfort picks in order to kind of protect himself, and it kind of hurt us in the pick ban, which makes sense because he was kind of a rookie at the time, and I'm not sure if he has like shown progress in that regard, because when I look at the games that he has played under pressure in the last couple of years, I don't think he ever stepped up as a leader per se. And the Rave of the Rekkles has been like, not that he's a vocal leader per se, but he has been an emotionally, like in a best of 5 at least, in that very vacuum, he has been emotionally stable, actually like been a rock for a lot of teams like that he's played on, right? In every Fnatic iteration, he has always been someone that like people can rely on to give that 40-minute win, no matter what you do. And I don't think Upset has the same quality, and I don't see where they can potentially get like the best of 5 wins against teams that are gonna like just match their aggression in the early game. Because I do think there are multiple teams in the league right now that can match their aggression, actually have better mechanics. For example, G2, I think Rogue has better mechanics, honestly, across the board. So I just don't see how they can beat any of those teams, at least in the best of 5 scenario, because of the lack of just stability.
One thing I noticed as well, like I'm usually not someone who goes super deep on the draft, but people mentioned it, so I looked it up, and it's accurate. Like in almost every one of these games, basically the way they draft is like it's just Whippo last pick. Like he just gets at the very end, they let him pick from like the crazy fun bag that Whippo carries around with him with all his champions in, and at that point in time, it must just be like a fucking lottery or something. You just whatever comes out, it's Whippo, isn't it? So he just goes ham. So. That seems like a very weird style to play. Because I have to say, when I saw this team composed, I thought the whole logic was right. Right, Niski's also there not just to work to self-made, but to offset the fact that Whipple's a bit of a maniac in the top lane. Then if you bring in Upset, I mean, I know he would think this, the whole team's supposed to be about getting him powered up so he can carry the game. Like, what do you think of this Whipple approach, though, Araya? Like,
I think they consider him as a main carry. And and give him the resources for him to be like that. And I'm not sure actually.
Yeah, makes sense.
Do you think the top lane pool should be that wide? Because obviously at the moment it looks like he's playing almost anything. Is it enormous at the moment in top lane?
Happy?
Well, I mean, it definitely complicates the draft in a sense. So that's an edge they got. You never know what people will pick next. So
you think it's a conscious style that they've chosen to actually like consciously just go for Whippo, or is this something that they just like came up? What do you think?
I think it could be conscious because he always has had these weird picks in the top lane, and so for this to work in the draft, he needs to be last pick, and so you have to make the rest of the draft more safe, and so it impacts the game as well. So I hope they are conscious of this, because else it wouldn't work at all.
I guess, dumb question, but yeah.
The only thing is, though, like, I give you an example. When he had that Riven game where obviously he was, like, smurfing on everyone, like, I found some of the Twitter banter for that so weird, because then everyone was just going, the champion's just broken. Just a broken champ. It's like, who else is playing it? What are you talking about? Like, it's not like you play it all the time. It's like, that's one of those things where someone in solo queue just got smashed by Riven and, like, this champion sucks. It's like, mate, it's not like everyone just spams it in top lane now, is it? What's that? Like, that's a specialist pick. Like, it's hard to make those picks work. Like, you have to basically, like, and also you're going to throw the whole game if you fuck it up.
Yeah,
it's pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, he must be dedicating a lot of time to those. I mean, to those special Olympics. I sometimes watch his stream, and when I see him play, like he's really conscious of his efforts within the lane. So he actually pre-plans like the next 2 to 3 minutes actually really clearly. So he knows when he's gonna have the base coming in, his next recall, like how he's gonna beat that matchup. But I don't think it's as sustainable as Fnatic pretends it is right now. Like, I mean, you already talked about it a bit. You know that. This works for quite a bit, and it can work, but it may not work. You know, like at some point it can just break down and it can break apart. And I don't know who's gonna take up that mantle in case Whippo suddenly like has an off week or an off day, whatever it is. You know, and we've seen this in playoffs, and you talked about it too. That like in playoffs he's regularly been like underperforming, especially against the likes of Wunder. And I do think that Ordo Amne and I mean even Broken Blade sometimes has the ability to just pop off, you know, and match him. So I don't know what Fnatic is going to do when that top lane pool is kind of figured out, because you can get a lot of information just from a solo queue.
Sure. That's actually one thing that's weird if people don't know. If you ever go on Whipple's solo queue, like stream rather, it looks like he is like the most thoughtful, like good teammate. Yeah. He's even trying to like talk to himself, like, you know, don't get mad at this guy who's flaming me, he's doing bad. Like, you know, he's probably just having a bad guy. But then what's bizarre is I even said this to him when I'm on shows with him. Then it gets in game, and like I have him on talk shows. He's doing a great job, like explaining everything, even weird picks. He'll explain like why, you know, the logic. Like, well, at 15 minutes, you know, the wave gets interesting here, and I was going to attack. Like, and I'm like, wow, this is great. And then I watched the game. This is what I even said to him. And then I watched the game, right? And I'm not a guy who throws around 24/7 Inter and stuff, but I watched the game and I'm like, he's fucking getting. What is that? Holy shit! This guy's griefing. What is this? And then I've actually figured it out though. I've cracked it. I've cracked the code. Okay. Right? If everyone knows, there's one problem Whippo has on talk shows, which is that Whippo never actually stops talking. You just have to interrupt him and then say something else and direct. Because he just keeps going. Like it keeps going. It takes so that's the problem. I bet he does know exactly what he wants to do in the game, but it would take longer than the game to play to explain to his teammates what he's about to. So he just thinks, you know what? Jesus, take the wheel. I'm just going to go in and I'm just going to pray that this Polish guy just knows, like fucking, you know, magically to teleport into my lane, and that the other jungler isn't there. And if he isn't there, I have to say, I'll give Whippo a bit of credit in this sense. He is sort of like the Western the shy because he also has a mad high ceiling when he hits it. Like he can be really fucking good when he's on his game, but man alive, that basement is rough. There's some demons in that basement. I know. Yeah,
it's underwater. That's for sure. Yeah, no, I can see that. Like, but I don't know. Like we talked about just now, like about the whole team chemistry, right? Like,
yes.
I mean, Nisqy is supposed to play around someone. Like Nisqy is definitely supposed to play around someone. I think they may have really overvalued how strong Upset plus Hilly are gonna be together and how they're gonna function. Because like when I look at the two, you know, I don't think they have any other option besides playing around people and hoping that he's gonna take the wheel and carry the game. Because like the farming meta obviously means that both junglers are going to kind of be evenly matched, right? I mean, we may see a bit of a change with the new meta coming in, like or with the changes that we've seen recently. That over time we may see more ganking junglers, but you're going to have Graves, Lilia, Hecarim, that kind of jungle, you know, like, and you're going to have to face up another jungler that's going to play exactly the same champion. So, yeah, they have to play around people and like upset Hilly. I don't know, like their map movements. I know it's crisp as, for example, Rekkles Hill is saying map movements where he knows Rekkles knew exactly when he had to give up CS. And Nisqy is just not, I mean, Nisqy is just different to Nemesis, way different. That he needs someone to play off of. And I don't think they have established that person besides Bwipo, and they need to establish another wheel. It has to happen.
Where do you think Nemesis matches up in the EU mids area?
I didn't expect that.
No. Just look at her face. Like she wants to say something really offensive right now. I can feel it.
Oh no, not at all. I was just trying to list in my head all the mid, you know,
Okay.
And actually, I'm filling out the list because there were a lot of rookies coming in this year. So
were you following the ERLs much? Like, do you know a lot of the newer people?
I know a lot of them, yeah, because I watch LFL a lot. And
okay. Who were the ones you were really hyped for?
Blue, who actually is coming from TCL, because I was in his team when I was in Fenerbahce 2 years ago.
Okay.
And at the time, the guy was still studying because his parents wanted to, so he was in Fenerbahce Academy and was rank 1 on Europe on solo queue at the same time. And so he came in for Summer Split, shared mid lane with Bolulu, and then was kept in the Fenerbahce roster for 2020. And destroyed every other mid in TCL, got every MVP title he could in spring. Summer was rough for Fenerbahce, but he was still 1v9 every game. And so I was really hyped seeing him in the LEC, and I think he's proving me right so far, so I was really happy. Seeing SK in 3rd place, it's really great. The guy is really proactive, really confident about himself. So,
do you think Nemesis is better than Chocolate, for example? Do you think he's better than Malika right now?
Do you mean Nemesis or Nisqy?
Nemesis.
Yeah, okay, just checking.
Yeah, could be probably. It's hard without seeing them matched up, but yeah, I think Van Chocoladia, Van Milica probably. Even you know him better than me, but I'm still not sold on VTO besides his Zoe, you know, and maybe
I don't know anymore. I just know from what you do, so don't worry. But yeah,
okay.
Fair enough.
Because to me, VTO in LEC was a bit too soon because he was just like 1 year of experience in front. Like he was in LDLC Academy, promoted to LDLC, and then off you go to LEC. And his Zoe was always scary, and that's a big part of what made us win EU Masters last year in spring. And yeah, I'm a bit scared because his champion pool doesn't seem to expand that much. Yeah, I still have to see if he actually can get real impact of the game same way on other champions.